Gaming Bolt presents 15 times you fight multiple bosses at once. Some boss battles add to the excitement by adding another boss into the proceedings. Fights against multiple bosses aren't incredibly common, but as soon as we see one begin, we are filled with a sense of dread. Thankfully, they are incredibly good boss fights as well, and not just a way to make the game harder. Here are 15 times you fight multiple bosses at once. Dragon Slayer Ornstein and Executioner Smough, Dark Souls 1. When one of these gold-plated giants goes down, the other absorbs their power and just gains more abilities. The fight is tough enough as is, with two colossi attacking simultaneously, but then the second half of the fight switches to a classic one-on-one brawl, but it remains just as hard. Even when you win, you don't feel like you've won, but that's Dark Souls. Shadow of Yharnam, Bloodborne. The Shadow of Yharnam summons multiple bodies, all with a unique attack and its own health bar. You have to learn the attack patterns of each, take them out quickly, and adjust appropriately when they change their tactics. They won't play nice either. Every opportunity they get to attack, they will take it, so you need to try to bring the battle to a swift end. Demon in Pain and Demon from Below, Dark Souls 3 The Ringed City DLC. Both of these flaming monstrosities tower over the player, with claws swiping and teeth gnashing. It's a sight to see and much harder to face. Whenever the Souls series throws two bosses at you, they tend to cover each other's gaps, making it much harder to find an opening to attack. Caroline and Justine, Persona 5. These twin jailers are more than just sassy guards, they also pack quite a punch. As any Persona fan will know, bosses with more than one opponent are always quite challenging, because all of a sudden there is twice as much to juggle. This is also one of the toughest fights in the game, so it will take quite a while to figure out all of its complexities. Multiple Pyramid Heads, Silent Hill 2. Pyramid Head is tough enough on his own, but when he brings his buddies, it's difficult to dodge that many hammers. It's their size and attack range that makes them so deadly. This is one of the entries on this list that is not enjoyable to play. It's a sight to behold though. We're just thankful there weren't a bunch of mannequins lying around. The Two Keepers, The Evil Within. All of the Evil Within's boss fights are about running away and slowly wearing down an unknown and terrifying enemy. The Two Keepers attack in a unique way. Take down the first, and its metallic head opens only for the second to come crawling out, shrieking and wailing. Its multiple, gangly limbs claw at the ground as it steadies itself and gets ready to attack. The Twins, Terraria. No one, no matter who you ask, wants to be attacked by two large eyes with teeth. The twins work as a team, with one ramming you as the other chomps away with its gnarled teeth. It's a tough but rewarding fight, knowing you managed to destroy both foes. The 2D nature of the game also adds some difficulty, limiting your movement options. Boom and Boom, Borderlands 2. This pair is just as insane as their names. One flies through the air on his jetpack, while the other sits comfortably in a large cannon, both firing off as many rounds as they can. It's one of the earlier fights in the game, so you can just fill them both with lead and make short work of the entire encounter. Hades and the Ice Colossus, Kingdom Hearts 2. Fighting the boss of the underworld is bad enough, but when he lets the Ice Colossus tag along, things get much more complicated. Hades is strong enough as is, but his friend has some very strong, wide-reaching attacks. Things become a bit easier when you lay one of them out, but doing that is still an immense challenge. PACOS Amethyst and PACOS LUVULITE, Final Fantasy XIII-2. These two majestic creatures may seem beautiful and serene, but they both rain down a series of attacks from two sides. It's a war on all fronts, and you need to remain vigilant to take them down quickly. It's a beautiful looking battle, but that doesn't make it any easier to fight your way through. Maneaters, Demon Souls. This pair of demonic gargoyles is as tough as any boss in Demon Souls. They emerge from the darkness, deliver a quick swipe, and then disappear just as quickly. One is tough enough as is, so adding a second complicates matters. You need to try and separate them if you want to have a fighting chance, otherwise you might end up staring at the game over screen. Molecule and Particle, Streets of Rage 2. This robotic duo moves pretty much the exact same. It just makes matters worse that there are two of them. Thankfully, in Streets of Rage 2, it's more the merrier. They hop around the streets, slowly but surely chipping away at your health. Thankfully, they aren't too tough. They're more of a nuisance than anything. Ninja Gaiden Black, Dynamo. This robotic duo attack at the same time, but having to fight both of them makes it much more difficult than it would otherwise be. The first attacker is relentless, but when you manage to take him down, his friend is lying in wait on top of the airship. New Destroyman, No More Heroes 2. When Travis first takes on Destroyman in No More Heroes, he cleaves the colorfully clad assassin in two, but apparently that isn't enough to bring him down. Each half of the body is now outfitted with a robotic skeleton, allowing him to be in two places at once, and makes things much more difficult for his opponents. LECHKU and NECHKU, OKAMI. These two owls float about the stage, raining down attacks and causing quite the commotion. Each of the bosses wields a unique element, so you have to combat them differently. You can't just wildly swing your brush around. Careful strokes are required to remove them from the sky. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at Gaming Vault, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.